everyone. It's Mary Amy, and I'm coming to you live from New York. And you are on Living in the Light. I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your potential, cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. How are you today? It is Tuesday, September 13th. What's going on? Did you have an intention when you woke up? What was your first thought? We always say, what do you see in front of you? If it was a sentence, what's your first thought? Is it positive? Is it negative? What's going on? Did you tune into your heart and say, how are you feeling? It's very important because you're the only one who has that answer. No one else out there does. No one is you. So you must be paying attention to exactly how you're feeling today. So today we're going to cover topics like peace and war, false light in the matrix, mental slaves. Of course, I'll be doing a visualization and I'll be covering angels as always, one of my favorite topics. Let's call out to the angels. So, any dreams? I mentioned yesterday, I don't know if you're paying attention, I mentioned yesterday about my dreams. And I had a dream over the weekend. Actually, it was a light code. I don't know if you've received any light codes, downloads, maybe lucid dreams, something like that. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you choose. So I had this light code that came through. And it looked like, this is the only thing I can possibly say it looked like. So I'm thinking it was like all these little swirly kind of designs going on. I don't know if you've had that happen to you. And I've also seen sacred geometry, which is all these different, very perfect looking shapes. And so I had this, and it was blue. It didn't have all these colors around it. I just thought it was fascinating. Anyone else have any downloads, lucid dreams that are similar to this? And as I always say, let's pay attention to our dreams. And our dreams are sharing information. Maybe they come through as a premonition. Maybe there's a symbol in there, a number, someone that you should let go of out of your life. It might be a direction you should take for your career or a relationship or something that you're trying to solve while you're awake and you don't have the answer. Maybe you'll be lucky enough to have someone that you cherished and loved when they were alive here in this physical reality, and they visit you in your dreams. And I find that to be a gift myself because they can visit with you. Like my father, for example, passed away and I didn't see him before he was cremated and gone. And so he visited me in my dreams for 2 years after, and it really, really settled and healed my heart. So dreams can be very, very beneficial. Anyway, moving on. So today we're going to cover peace and war. And what exactly does that mean? Well, I thought it was important to bring this up because in some respects, we have been going through a war in this physical reality as well as in the spiritual realm. And it's been a spiritual war, a battle, good versus evil, light versus darkness. And if you look below the surface, and if you have some clarity about what you're seeing and you're not just going along with what you're hearing in the matrix, the programming, the mind control, what comes through on the television, the news, the media. And like we say, that's like watching commercials. That's advertisements. That's marketing. That's all marketing. Those are all actors. I know this. I was in the media business. I was an actress. I did modeling. I did all of that. So I'm aware of a setup. So if something doesn't resonate with you, because we always say, tune into our hearts. That's why I say it's very important every day to tune into your heart so you know what is true. Now, you must have a willingness to accept that there is another reality. So I'm bringing up peace and war because I think it's very important that we find peace within ourselves, because we can only control this, our vessel, our mind, body, spirit, heart. That's the only thing we can control in this physical reality. We can't control what's going on out here. Maybe we can have a perception. We can have a perspective. Maybe we can offer information and think we are influencing, but we have no control really. So let's just focus on finding the peace within ourselves. And then when we establish that, we can create peace out here in the physical reality because of our thoughts. Our thoughts are very powerful. And as we create collective unity, unity within the earth, which is peace, we're creating peace and light on this earth, you will see that things begin to shift more and more. Now, are they on their way out? Yes, it's the changing of the guard. It's time. Their time is up. The clock has struck 12 and they're out. They are out. The matrix is leaving. The systems, the cage that we've been living in, there's 4 sides. We're being told, oh, there's a ceiling and there's 4 sides, and we are in the cage. We are in the linear cage, the physical reality. It's a simulation. It's created to enslave us and for us to be dominated over and have power, but we have what's called personal power. Personal power. Now, how do you gain that? You gain that through knowing and willingness to trust yourself, to trust you, because everything's in your heart. It's always been there. Your heart and spirit know your destiny. You can create your reality, whatever you want, through your thoughts. Now, if you go around asking everyone what they think, it's not going to really matter, is it? Because they have a different perspective. They are not you. Do they look like you? Do they sound like you? Were they raised the same as you? Do they have the same dreams and wishes and desires? You have to go with your own thoughts and beliefs. So let's leave behind the belief systems and the thoughts that we had prior to this moment. Let's start fresh. I like to start fresh. So let's go to peace. Now, what exactly is peace? Well, peace is freedom from disturbance and it's tranquility. It's a period in which there's quiet. So that's why I say, if you want to tune into your intuitive abilities, if you want to understand you, what makes you tick, you are the only person that can figure that out. Really, no one else, because you're in your mind. It's your mind. No one else has your mind, your heart, your spirit. None of it. So you have to figure it out yourself. So when you have peace within yourself, you can start to figure out a lot more about what's going on out here. But first, we have to work on ourselves. It's not that difficult. It really isn't. It's about having stillness. So peace is a state of mind. It's harmony. It's living selfishly, treating others with respect. It's friendship in society. It's peace creates cooperation and it manages disputes. So there's a lot of beneficial qualities to having peace. So having peace in your heart means none of this lower vibrational emotions. Like, we don't want to go around, we don't want to go around. If we want peace in our lives, if we say, oh yeah, I just want quiet, I want stillness, I want serenity, I want harmony. Well, if you go around attacking people, blah, 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 la, 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 all this anger or meanness, or if you have hurt, you must settle that up with yourself. Don't take it out on others, because guess what's going to happen? You're going to create war in your life. You're going to create discontent. You're going to suffer. If you want to have harmony and blissfulness and joy, you must create peace within yourself. And if this is in relationships, peace needs trust. So if you have peace, funny enough, people begin to trust you more. They are, wow, this person is very calm. I like hanging around with them. I can trust them because they're not erratic. They don't have spurts of anger. They don't have spurts of hate. They're not mean. People that have peace in their heart are well liked and they're trusted and they're given responsibilities because people say, that's a very calm person. Wow, look, they're not flustered. Peace is really valuable, let me tell you. So it's a feeling of peace. How do you gain that? Well, you gain it by first finding out exactly what bothers you, what your triggers are. It's about having more love for yourself. So you can find more peace in the world by loving yourself, by cherishing yourself, by accepting yourself. So peace and love are kind of going hand in hand. And when you have peace within your heart and you have love within your heart for yourself, everything just seems better, doesn't it? It's like the first time you fall in love. What is it like? You're like, wow, everything's wonderful. Look at how the world looks. Everything looks wonderful when you're in love. And so that's kind of the feeling that you have when you have peace in your heart. You feel like you're in love every single day because nothing can get you down. You're like, wow, all right, so I have a flat tire. I'll fix it. It'll be okay. And that's where you come from when you have peace in your heart. So it's an attitude of caring, it's kindness, and it's towards others. Not just me, me, me. Yesterday we talked about different paths, the two different paths: service to self, service to others. What did we say? We said service to others is about love and cherishing and caring about others. And so 51% of your thoughts and actions are pretty much about service to others. Now, those who have service to self, me, 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 it's all about me. What can I get? What can I do? Everyone give me stuff. I want all my stuff. This is my identity. I'm fabulous. That's service to self. I'm going to crush other people and step on them to get whatever I want. That's service to self. And so those are two paths. Service to self, 95% of your thoughts and actions are about you. 95%. So we said there's a big little, like a little concave area there between service to self and service to others. That's a decision that you make entirely up to you. Everything that I'm sharing with you are suggestions. So peace, back to peace. We thrive in peace. Do you realize that when we have peace, we feel better. We feel more happy, more lighter, and we thrive, and we have better concentration, and we see all the positions in front of us. We have it's more like we can see everything from a better standing point. We can say, oh, well, that might not be a good idea. Oh, but I want to do that. When we have more calmness and peace. And you know what? It creates better friendships, and there's cooperation, and you have better performance when you have peace. Now, physical benefits, there's quite a few physical benefits to peace. You have lower oxygen consumption, you decrease respiratory rate, you increase your blood flow, you have a slower heart rate, and you increase physical exercise tolerance, and you have a deeper level of physical relaxation. In other words, you can really relax your body more and more. And I found back way when, I guess it was 20 years ago, I started meditating, and then that's how I began my peace. That's where I started finding peace. And what happened was I expanded my mind, and there was more room up there. And it gave me more higher consciousness and more like flexibility in how I was thinking. I wasn't just like compressed, because when we're in this matrix, we've been compressed. All of our feelings and emotions are compressed. They say, oh, you're acting out. Give that person some medication. Why don't we just let everyone be who they are? I'm not talking about mental illness. I'm not talking about someone who has harmful thoughts. I'm talking about someone that is maybe, like a child that's acting out a little bit, and they're just trying to feel their oats, and they're trying to find their way, because that's how we create ourselves when we're children. When we're children, we really know from the beginning what we want. But then we're told, you know what? That's a joke. You can't do that. You'll never be that. Where we're criticized so much that we don't believe in ourselves. So let's believe in ourselves. Let's have peace. So if we want to have calmness and peace, within ourselves. We're going to get on to war in a second. It's a little rougher. Write in the chat and tell me what you think. Tell me where you're coming from. Join us. And I hope you like the video. So calmness and peace come by, we all know, by quieting ourselves down. Now, the reason that I really wanted to kind of bring up peace and war is because I realize out there that there's a lot of kind of destructive behavior going on. There's a lot of like spewing crap at each other. There's some naughtiness going on. And so I say, well, why? Like, why is everyone so mad? Why are they in so much pain? And it's because they're not really addressing their own stuff. They're like, oh, I don't feel well today, and I'm going to take it out on that person, or I'm going to have service to self and step on that person. So I really thought it might be a good opportunity today to bring up finding your own peace, because it's really important. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to calm our minds. We're going to do that by maybe going into a quiet space. Maybe you can tune on to something. Maybe you find that with music. Maybe you find that with rest, like lying down for a minute and just turning everything off and just letting out a breath. It starts with breathing. It's not, you don't even, it's simply meditation is your breathing. It's paying attention to your breath. It's quieting your mind. It's not really complicated. You don't have to listen to a guided meditation. You could if you want. So basically, you're going to focus on your breath, like really in your mind, focus on your breath, no thoughts. So that's going to be one of the first steps you're going to do. And then you're going to be able to start to see your path a little clearer. And maybe a memory or something is going to come forward and you're going to say, oh, I forgot about that. And I really enjoyed doing that. And maybe it's on your list of 5 humongous goals. Maybe you go off into like more of a dream state and you start thinking about things that really fulfill you or make you happy and excited. And then it might bring you to, you come up, you get up off the couch or the bed and you say, maybe I should go plant flowers, or maybe I want to go on a canoe trip, or maybe I want to get back to the writing that I promised I'd do. Or maybe there's someone that you know that you want to have a friendship or a romance with. I'm telling you, quieting everything down is very beneficial. It's going to help you bring you to your destiny. Everything I'm telling you is because I'm helping you and I'm sharing with you and I'm loving you and I'm cherishing you and I'm supporting you with your dreams and your desires and your wishes because I want good things for you. Why do I want good things for you? Because I can't help but do this. This is all I ever want to do. I just want to lend a helping hand. That's who I am. I can't help it. Sorry. All right. So it's going to help us focus on our goals. And it's going to be more efficient. When you have peace within yourself, you're more efficient. Now, we're going to move on to war. War. So what exactly is war? Well, it's probably the opposite of peace, you could say. It's a state of conflict. And they say war is a state of conflict between nations and states or people. So it's a fight, it's a battle, it's warfare, it's conflict, it's combat, it's struggle. Now, we can have a war within ourselves, can't we? I mean, sometimes we say, oh, the devil made me do it. Or, I have demons and I can't help it. I have to have that second or third or 10th drink. Or I can't help this, this fetish I have or this addiction that I have. And it might come through where it might be something that you're doing that's naughty. You might be doing something over again and you have a war within yourself. And I'm starting with ourselves because that's where war starts, with ourselves. War doesn't start out here. War starts with people, with beings. I say beings of light, individuals, sacred beings of light. It starts within ourselves. Where does war come from? It comes from hurt and pain. It comes from, you know what? I want more. It comes from wanting more. It comes from dominating. It comes from greed. It comes from ego, saying, I deserve more. Because if we all said, you know what? I love you. Because I say, we all are connected, right? We are all connected. We are actually all one. We are all one. And so war within ourselves is going to create war out here, isn't it? So if we start by working on peace within ourselves, then we'll have less war within ourselves and less war out here. So wars can be a physical war. So it can be like people are actually hitting each other or injuring each other, or it can be a social war, a war of like, they're combating maybe with dialogue, maybe with, some kind of insult. It might be a war. There's a lot of different types of war, but most of them are negative. They're really negative. I would say it's war. So war's nature is violence, it's interactive, and it's fundamentally political. So it destroys, it physically harms children and adults, and it's psychological, and it destroys mental health. It causes trauma. It causes fear. So war can injure us if we are at war out in this physical realm, in the physical world, in the 3D, in the matrix. It can harm us because someone can come at us and somebody can either be physically hurtful or verbally or emotionally hurtful, and it can break us down. It can destroy us. And then it's gone. It's like a domino effect, right? A war is like a domino effect. It starts, like I say the butterfly effect, the wings of the butterfly flapping, and then there's the ripple effect. There's a ripple effect that goes on. There's a butterfly effect that goes on with war because it starts here, and then what does it do? It consumes energy. It consumes life force. It consumes hearts, and it can cause death, can it? I don't appreciate war. I don't understand it. It's not in my mind. I don't get there because I know aggression. What I say is, if someone comes up to you, here comes somebody, here you are, and they come up to you and they're like, oh, they're like screaming at you, or they're like, ah, and it could be on social media, it could be in person, it could be, anywhere. And if you say, ah, and you yell back, what happens? And they yell back, and then you yell back, and it's not settled, is it? So the best thing to do is to say, imagine light, imagine love, wrap hugging with love. Embrace it. Don't run from it. Don't have fear from it. Embrace it. Because there's duality that is in all of us. We are imperfect, perfect beings of light. So I don't agree with you keep going and keep going, because what is that? That's very destructive. So I would say that war can also create something as severe as what's called shell shock. And that's a terminology that came during physical battles of war. And what does that do, shell shock? Well, you're confused, you're shocked. And this can happen in relationships. This can happen, not as severe as like a war that's within countries, or, something very violent and aggressive. It can happen in a workplace, where you work, your career is. It can happen in a relationship with male or female. It can happen with a family member, and you're shell shocked. You're shocked. You're like, what just happened? And it's like you're in a sudden alarming experience, and you're like, whoa. And this is what happened. This is what happens to men in the military. They become shell shocked, and they get post-traumatic stress disorder, and they're mentally confused and upset, and you're highly stressed out, and it's an unexpected event or experience, and you feel alienated and isolated when it happens. And that's what happens. That's like, you can have a verbal war with someone, and it can really create shell shock. And then you have to kind of, come back from that. So I don't really feel, to me, my suggestion is to try to escape war by going to peace. And I'm not running from war. I'm not saying run from anything. I'm saying escape it. Don't have it within your existence, in your environment. Because if we all find peace within ourselves, eventually we're collectively going to find peace in our nation, in our environment, in our community, and we will have love in our hearts. Okay, so moving on, I want to cover something that maybe those out there who are also aware of another reality. Maybe they're awakened, like I'm awakened. So when I say I'm awakened, I say that I came out from a slumber. I was sleeping. I was, in a another reality, I guess you could say. I was sleeping. And during that sleeping, I was mind controlled. I was brainwashed into believing the only reality is living in this cage, this matrix, this linear world, these systems, the history, the medical, the government, the education. And that's the only way to go. It's like when you go to school and you say, you memorize all this information to spurt it back out. How much of that is where they're saying, well, what do you think, Johnny or Jane or Joey? What do you think? They don't really ask that. They say, this is the answer. This is the answer. And so we are really taught, we are believed, and we are told that there's just one answer. So the matrix is really a one answer system. This is the answer. We're going to give you all the information. You memorize it. I mean, that sounds like so robotic, doesn't it? If you think about it, let's expand our mind, our vision. Let's open up to another reality. Now, look, I'm not choosing the reality. I'm not saying the other reality that you expand your mind to is exactly what I say. It's the whatever reality you want. I say that the matrix is leaving and in is coming a new world, a new reality. What is the reality you want? Because we're all going to have different realities. We're all going to want different things. And so our minds are very powerful. So we're going to create the reality that we want. And the only one who can do that is you, because like I said, you go to your heart. What's in your heart, it's not going to be the same that's in anyone else's heart. So I bring up the false light in the matrix because I've been paying attention to a lot on what's going on out there and the words that are said. And I'm from a place of light workers. And what is a light worker? A person, obviously, that brings light into this world, and that I'm sharing good thoughts and good dreams and good wishes. And I am believing in love, and I'm cherishing everyone. And that's what I believe. So the false light in the matrix is a misleading portrayal. And it's misleading others. So the matrix, the systematic structure that's placed over us, humanity that we were tricked into, has now actually incorporated. Now there's those out there that are apparently claiming, and it's hard to decipher what's true. There's what's called false light. So there's false light. And this is going to come down to discernment. So there's the illusion of the matrix, and now we have apparently a matrix within a matrix. So there's those that are coming out of the matrix, and then they're getting tricked by false light, by those who say that they are out of the matrix, but they're really in the matrix. So this is, again, me bringing awareness. So there's a rabbit hole that we're going down. So we must question everything. I don't know. I can't tell you who you should believe. I'm sorry to say. At this point, there's so many mixed messages and mixed stories, and this person's being truthful and this person's being truthful. We're talking about, and I'm referring to those who are saying that they are like what I am, a psychic, a clairvoyant. Those that say that they are out of the matrix, and that they are healers, and that they are light workers, and maybe even star seeds, they are then pointing the finger at somebody else and saying, no, they're not. And so it's getting really confusing for those who've come out of the matrix. Now, I'm not confused. For a moment, I had to kind of get my grounding. I had to, be grounded. And how do I say to get grounded? Imagine your feet firmly planted in the earth's surface. Go out and spend time under a big, healthy tree. They have a very strong energy field. And so I had to kind of look at everything. And that's just how I am, because I am, like I say, I'm from a pack of rebels, not the rebels that go out and cause havoc. I'm a rebel that realizes that there's another possibility, another reality. So I look at things from all angles, and my whole system does that very quickly. And then I make a decision. So I'm asking you to have discernment. Now, I do want you to leave the matrix. I'm hoping you leave the matrix, but I want to share with you, when you come outside the matrix and your thinking is more open, be careful of those who say that they're saving you, or those that say there's a savior, or those that say they're a prophet, any organizations. I'm not saying that they're not true. I'm saying be wary of false light. So those that say that, oh, I'm everything, I'm going to save you. No, you're the only one who can save you. You, just you. So I'd like you to go to your heart and your mind and your spirit and everything that's within you that you know to be true. And that's how you decide. Now, you can follow people and say, oh, wow, I find what they're saying is very valuable to me. But if you get any sense that it's not resonating with you, or they're then wanting something from you, like they want money, or they say that this is the only way to go, then I would say to stay away from them. They're false. So I'm just cherishing you and wanting good things for you. So I want you to be aware of this. Okay? Just be aware, and you will figure it out, because you are out of the matrix and you know that there's another reality out there. So false is going to be incorrect. It's going to be untrue. It's wrong. And it's appearing to be one thing, and it's deceptive. So know that there is deceptive light out there. Now, why is this happening is the next question. What is the benefit to them? Well, maybe the benefit is money. Maybe the benefit is power. And maybe the benefit is to keep you in the matrix. So it's another matrix outside the matrix. So light, what is light going to do for you? It's going to bring you to a better place of truth. It's going to help you. It's going to be visibly better. It's going to be positive. So if we can stay within ourselves and we can have discernment, and we can also say, like, for a moment, that's working for me. So how do I get through all of this? How do I know? Well, what I do is, first of all, I tune into me. And if something looks really good, I say, why does it look really good? And I question it. I wonder. And then I might say, oh, this person's really resonating with me right now, or this information, and I'm going to pay attention to it for right now. But usually I gather that information for a while and then I move on. I don't just stay in one place, because no one has all the answers. And even those that claim that are really good for, good individuals, beings of light for us, they don't have all the answers. The only one who has all the answers to me is God. And that's the only one. And so I trust myself, but I have a willingness to be open. Okay, so moving on from peace and war and false light in the matrix, because I want to be happy, and we're going more into, this is a lot of dark stuff, isn't it, today? I just realized that. But I'm on the other side of it. It's just awareness. It's bringing awareness. So you know what? For a moment, we're going to cover angels. We're going to go to angels to bring some light onto the subject. So light and love and angels. And I always say Archangel Michael is right by my side. And Archangel Michael, so this obviously is what I consider to be a warrior. And, you know, there's a sword. That's a symbol of a warrior, I guess. But, you know, archangels are warriors of God, and they come before him. And they've said to say there's tens of thousands upon millions of angels. And I tell you how I see angels coming down from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. And that I see within this cylinder, this tower, this beautiful ornate tower that goes up to the, I'm assuming, up to the heavens. And in fact, what's so funny is over the weekend, I literally made a visit to the heavens. I guess it might have been considered a dream state, because I really needed God in my presence, and I really needed to have answers. And you know what always comes back to me is just everything is in my heart already. And I have all that light in my heart. And so angels, we can ask for angels to come into our lives. You know, they're beings of light. They're immortal. There's 9 ranks of angels. And we all have 2 guardian angels with us from birth. And they're here to guide us. So sometimes you might hear something whispered in your ear. And it might be an angel giving you information or dropped down into your brain. So pay attention. You can ask for angels. You know, my mantra really comes from angels, because I needed angels at certain times. And I said, please carry me through this situation because it's too much for me. I can't handle it. And so I asked angels to come into my life. And I found that the more I asked angels to come into my life, the more miracles that happened. And so miracles are extraordinary divine events that are considered supernatural. And they're related to God because it's divine intervention. It's coming into your life to save you from something. So a miracle might be you pray. If someone's ill and you say it's a miracle that they survived or that they're okay. Maybe a miracle is you're in a dire situation that's dangerous and you come out of it unscathed. And that's a miracle. A miracle might simply be you're having a bad time and you say, oh, I need help right now. And everything turns in your direction. It's all about our thoughts. It's our perception and our perspective. It's how we believe and what we think. So let's be aware that we can ask for angels to come into our life, or we can ask for miracles to happen, because they will. So before we move on to mental slaves, I kind of wanted to go on, touch on intuitive abilities. So have you been working on your intuitive abilities? What have you been doing? Tell me about your intuitive abilities. Write in the chat. Are you clairvoyant? Have you been working on tuning in and getting strangers' objects and trying to figure out exactly who they are by an impression you receive? And what is an impression? We know that. It's a transference. It's a thought transference. It's an image. It's a symbol. So it might be that if you get really brave and you want to try it, you might be somewhere and you say, and you feel like, oh, well, this person is open to this. You say, hey, can I do a reading on you? And they say, what's that? Oh, I'm working on my intuitive abilities. And let me tell you, people claim that they're not interested in psychic stuff, but you'd be surprised how many CEOs I've had as clients, and they refer to you. They want to know if they believe you and they trust you, and they believe in your skill set. So more people than you think are into this. Why do you think there's horoscopes in the paper, or people are interested in your astrological sign? So go to somebody that you don't know and let's really test your abilities, and maybe get an object from them and just say, Now, and what you want to do is you want to take away all your mental thinking. You just want to, like I said, go to that place that we spoke about, of stillness, and take your time. Don't be rushed. And close your eyes, let out a breath, and just tune into stillness in your heart, and just have all of your senses working at once and see what information you gather. You will gather at least one impression from this person, from their stuff. Maybe you hold their hand. Maybe you just do a read where you're not even touching them. Maybe you hear their voice, like I can hear a voice and get information. Like I say, it's going to be, you're going to find your way into people some way. I go through their heart. You might go a different capacity. So everyone's going to be different. So you all have an innate power. You all have personal power. You all have these skills. It's just about tuning into them and knowing and believing. So when you trust yourself and you have a willingness to hear your own emotions and the information that comes through, because eventually you know what's going to happen. This new world that's coming into play, it's not the world of the matrix. It's not the world of the control. It's the world of telepathy. It's the world of feelings and emotions. So the quicker you figure this out, the more advanced you'll be, because that's the world that's taking over. The world of light, the world of joy and love, unconditional love. That's the world that's coming into play. So let's tune into our intuitive abilities. So we're going to gain information through our 5 senses. And our 6th sense is going to be our knowing. That is a clairsense. Equals, so clairsense, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsustenance, clairempathy, clairalliance, clairgustinance, claircognizance are all knowing. And what are we knowing? We are knowing something from an outside source because we've received transference. We've received thought transference. We've received impression transference. And so why are we receiving it? Because everything has a vibration. And the reason why you would ever receive any information from someone's personal stuff, from their possession or object, is because I have feelings and thoughts related to this. Now, what would it be? It might be that, you know, these to me are very important because it's a feeling and a vibration. It's a feeling and emotion that it's very crucial that I have these. So maybe at certain times I need these because I can't see without them. I don't know. It's going to be different depending on everyone that you meet up with. But my point is that everything that comes to you, an impression that comes to you from others, information that comes to you. Now, it might not be from others. It might be from a situation, a location. It might be a complete stranger that you're receiving information from. As soon as you start to tune in, you might get what's called remote viewing. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. So that means that you're literally, it would be like you have a camera on a situation and you're watching it. It might come through in a dream. You might start to have dreams about people you don't even know. So all this transference only comes to you, these impressions come to you only because there is a vibration, a feeling that is attached to that memory, that thought. There's a vibration and emotion. So that's how you're receiving. Hey, Jody! Thank you for the knowledge. It is truly a gift. You know what, Jody? Thank you for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. You know what? I'm just sharing what I know. And, I'm trying to kind of, give some information out there. Exactly what you said. So how are you today? You're coming from Colorado, I think you said. Thank you on this Tuesday. Here we are. right? In September together, loving that. So are you working on your clear senses, and how's that going for you? Share with me. Um, so, you know, I spoke earlier about being mental, about being, the false light in the matrix and war and peace. And really everything comes down to ourselves, comes down to what we're feeling. And it's really about not being deceived. It's about not joining with someone else's perception of the world and conforming. It's about coming back to us. And as we as we utilize and understand and have more knowing about our intuitive abilities, our clear senses, we're going to find out that everything is just going to literally work like this, like magic. We're going to get to our destiny. And now it might not come through exactly how you thought it was, but it's going to come through. The more we understand our clear senses and who we are. So let's see. Hey, Thomas Grant. Hey, from Australia. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Thomas. And yes, Canada. You're from Canada. There was somebody from Colorado. I apologize, Jody. Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. And I'm participating. All you teach, it is really helping me in my daily life. Thank you. Well, thank you. It's like I need validation too. I'm just going to keep going, but I need validation that there's another set of eyeballs out there. All right, so let's do one, let me just mention one or two techniques for working on our clear senses. Hey, yay, Thomas Grant, thanks. Just because, you know what, it's a reminder. Sometimes we forget and we say, oh yeah, I should have been working on that. Oh yeah, eyes are open, ears are open. Yes, eyes and ears are open. Perfect. So, like we said, the first step is closing your eyes, going into quiet space, shutting off all electronics. Bring a pad of paper, not your phone, a pad of paper to jot down any information. Because the more you do this, then the more you're going to be able to tune in, and you're just going to listen beyond the walls of the room, like we always say. And that's a moment of stillness. It doesn't have to be an hour. It can be 5 minutes. It can be 30 minutes, whatever you deem that works for you, till you receive an impression. Now, maybe you're going to receive an impression about something that has nothing to do with your life. Maybe you're going to receive information about a friend. You might receive something that comes to you, because everything that we receive, we're supposed to receive. Don't you see that? Because it's our clear senses. It's very personal. So whatever you're receiving, you're supposed to receive. Maybe it's a warning. Maybe you're going to hear something. I told you, I've been really hearing a lot of clairaudience lately. In other words, I'm just hearing stuff. I don't even know where it's coming from. Sometimes it's funny. I have a thought and I'm in the direction of something, and it's almost like there must be a spirit, or I don't know, somebody's listening to my thoughts, because then they actually magnify it by saying them. It's really kind of strange. Like it's another voice, and I'm not saying it's little voices in my head. I'm saying it's from an outside source, and you know the difference. Okay. That's going to be something. Then we spoke about, way back when, I said, let's stretch our bodies. And why is this? We're doing this because we're going to stretch our senses. We're stretching. Imagine you close your eyes and you imagine stretching your torso, your head, your arms all the way. Imagine physically and leaving your behind and your lower self, your legs here on earth, and you're stretching your whole entire torso like a rubber doll all the way. You're imagining you're stretching all the way to the moon, to the sun, to the clouds, and you're wrapping around, because that's a way of expanding. You're trying to expand your mind. You're trying to expand your belief system. You're trying to expand your thoughts and make more room. And this is how we engage with ourselves, like really do. Okay, so what else? We're going to talk, we spoke about in the past about having a friend. I'm going to do this with my friend today, the one that I said, how do you know the difference? As I've listened to many channelers, could I be a channel? Okay, so know the difference in what? Let me see if I understand what you're saying. How do you know the difference? From receiving information, you mean? From like another source? Well, another source is channeling. So you are channeling. Now there's channelers who go into a trance. So, for example, it would be, you've seen them maybe, mediums do that. The old time lady with she's got the scarf on and she's sitting there, and maybe they're doing a seance and she's got the crystal ball, and she's like, or she's holding hands with someone and she's like, oh, I hear the voice of your uncle Jacob, or whatever it is. She's channeling from it. Now, whether or not she's true or not, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's the old fortune teller. She's receiving information. She's channeling a person. And so she might take on their voice. Now, nowadays, we see channelers like, I'm watching the Sam the Illusionist. I don't know if you've seen Sam the Illusionist. And he gets like 30,000 views a pop, this guy, like in 2 hours. And, or like I had done that show recently. They call us channelers. And he said, Mary, are you a channel? Are you intuitive? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I guess I channel information. I do channel information from an angelic realm, and I'm speaking of it as I do it, but I'm very conscious of it because I have that much focus. I don't have to go into another voice or whatever that is. That's just me. Now, you are a channeler, Thomas. It could be, if you channel information, you are receiving it from another source. So basically, it's very clear. It's going to come through, maybe not in the context of how you speak. So you will know, and one way to test it, maybe do a video of yourself channeling, like turn on your phone and like prop it up and record yourself. That was excellent video. They call us channelers. Oh, thank you. I'm asking, could I be a channeler? Yes, of course you could. Of course you could be a channeler. Like when you start to work on your intuitive abilities, and I shouldn't say the word work. I should say practice. As you practice your intuitive abilities. Now, some people are just channelers. They're not intuitives. It doesn't mean you're both. So it would be, you are receiving outside information, and it might be like yesterday I talked about Ra, the law of one. So this girl channeled with this UFO investigator, and she channeled from 1981 to 1984, and they did these tapes, 104 tapes from Ra, who is an extraterrestrial. So yes, absolutely. Yes, you could be a channeler. I mean, I can't, if just that you're asking me, you probably are. You know what I'm saying? Because I found that from the beginning, when I started tuning into like my stuff, I was drawn to it for a reason. Now you can be drawn to this kind of stuff because it just resonates with you, but we all have abilities. So be open to that you could be a channeler. Yes. And I guess clairaudience does fit under channeling. So let's say I could say, if I really tuned into, the other night I heard this man's voice, and it was very aggressive. And so I heard this, and I was thinking something, and then he was like responding to what I was thinking. And I said, I really don't want to touch on that. So but if I tuned into him, I might be able to channel whatever he was saying to me, because I'm hearing it from an outside source. So if you can hear from an outside source, or you gather information from data from an outside source, you can channel it. So you can maybe channel it through your words, which is what I do, or you can channel it from the outside source words, another being. Maybe it's an angel. Maybe it's the Virgin Mary. Maybe it is an extraterrestrial. Maybe it is another person. Yes, of course. So, well, thank you for taking us down that road, because, that was something that was interesting. Now, also, I just want to remind you that there's, clairvoyance is going to be feeling. So you're going to have intuitive sight. You're going to have a sense, and you might see spirits, entities, other realms, some more action that you can take to become more aware is going to be, you can practice getting information from a sender. Like I said, I was going to do this with my girlfriend. And so you go to a different location and you specify a time, and then they start sending you information. So they're going to have information, like they're going to say your name over and over again. And they're going to maybe they're going to tell you about their day or something that happened. And then you're going to tune into them. And if you have a picture, that would help, of them. And you're going to write down what you receive. You're going to receive at least one impression from that person. 1,000,000%. Because we all have feelings and emotions. And that's really all that is. This is really our senses. And you're going to have different gifts than anyone else. Maybe you'll have more or less, but you're going to have one of them that is superior to the others. Most of the time, there's one thing that's very strong. And like I learned doing psychic fairs and all that kind of stuff, where I did events, I went and would do 50 people or 30 people a night, and I'd have 5 minutes. I found that one thing rang true with me. So to do it well, I would just focus on that ability that time. Could I do other things? Absolutely. But maybe they took a little bit more time and they weren't as clear. So you're going to have a clear knowing about one of the intuitive senses, one of the sixth sense that you have. So maybe you're going to be someone that really feels sensations. It might come, and it might be, and what I mean by that is, you're going to have a sensation, like kind of a red alert within you, like something that gives you goosebumps. And so you're going to say, wow, that really rings true. It might be during the time that someone's speaking, and you'll be like, well, that's very truthful. And then you might receive words or sentences or images, like vibrational messages. Like the other day, I saw, like for me, I receive information in, like, it's so silly, it sounds so silly, in like purple. And it'll be a sentence right in front of me. There's a lot of abilities that you might have. You might go into a room and all of a sudden you smell something and there's no smell, because there's someone around you that either loves that perfume or that's what their house smells like. It's kind of exciting to find out what exactly you're good at in the intuitive realm, in the intuitive abilities. So let's work on that. One more thing I want to remind you of that I spoke about in the past, and it's just a reminder, and today I spoke about the matrix and the false light. And like, I don't want to give myself a headache thinking about this, because it's dark, a little dark, but it's just knowledge you must have. Like I've said to you in the past, like when we dream, I love the dreaming state. I don't block anything coming through with me. There's those that are like very conscious, like, oh, I'm going to be really careful when I go to sleep. I don't do that. I'm just open, and then I'll deal with it when it comes. It's kind of how I deal with life. When it comes to me, then I figure it out. But there's what's called psychic attacks. Oh, I had an OB, outer body experience, when I was younger. Yes. Okay, so then that's probably why you're able to channel. Because I was hypnotized like 50 times when I was 25, which I don't recommend ever being hypnotized unless you really trust the person, because they can do a lot of damage. So, I've heard stories. So just, that's a way, I guess, that I got to another world, another realm. Also, I had near-death experiences. And so I saw light, and I was like almost died twice. So anyway, what was I talking about? Psychic attacks. So psychic attacks. So, like we can have attacks on us energetically in person. Like there might be someone out there, they say, who gives you the evil eye. People have that necklace, the evil eye. And what is an evil eye? It's someone who's putting like a hex on you, or or a spell on you. And is there spells out there? Sure. There's black magic, there's witches, there's all that stuff. But all of that is artificial. Be aware that that's all artificial. So, and what I mean by artificial is it's like something placed on you, it's not within you. So you can always take it off. Spells, possession, if someone's possessed, everything can get taken off of you because it's about your belief system. What do you believe? If you have a lot of fear within yourself, so in other words, you're like worried, you have a lot of anxiety, I'm worried, I gotta worry about this, I worry about that. You're in like a place of being able to be attacked, you're vulnerable. Or if you're in a place of sadness a lot, if you're in your very, very lonesome. I almost died as well when I had pneumonia. That's on my mind for the first time because and I learned to let go. Yes, good. Very thankful for that. That's great. Very grateful for this, for that, all is yes. Me too. I'm grateful for what happened to me because you know what? Everything's meant to be. It got me here. I feel like there's a lesson in everything. Not everything's permanent. It's temporary. It might be just a lesson that you need. So psychic attacks can come through with somebody that, intentionally seeks you out. I had that. I had somebody that I decided I didn't want to employ. I was doing a project and I said no to her. And then I found out later, like after it started happening, she was a witch. She started casting spells. She did black magic. So that's along the lines of evil, satanic, that's stuff you want to avoid. You don't want to engage with any of that because as soon as you open yourself up to that stuff, then they're in. Okay. So psychic attacks can come in the form of, it could be that severe as somebody who's a witch or doing spells, or it can just be somebody that doesn't like you and they want to, think naughty, bad things about you because thoughts are very powerful. As I say, they have a vibration. Thoughts can create a reality. So be aware of that. Now, psychic attacks that you have while you're sleeping is what I'm getting to. And I think I called it like sleeping ESP, sleeping target or something like that. Because back in the 60s, or even before that, they were discovering and experimenting and doing ESP. Governments were doing this. And they have a whole division of this. And so they've worked on this. They know how to psychically attack people. So people can psychically attack other people. Now, I don't know what technology can do. I'm just assuming it's a person doing it to a person, but if they want to do it on a grand scale. So what am I speaking of right now? I'm speaking of literally me and my friend could do this. I could take my friend's picture. I could know when my friend is asleep, know when she's asleep, and I could psychically attack when she's asleep. Now, would it be to a friend? Would it be psychically? No, I can actually speak to her and she receives the information. But someone could do it in a harmful way is what I'm telling you. So it would be like this. Ego Swan was doing remote viewing way back when. Yeah. So it might be like I have a picture of my friend. This is in a harmless way, and you can try this. So I say to my friend, let's say her name is Jane. I say, Jane, what time are you going to sleep? Let's try this. She says, I'm going to sleep at 11. So at 12 o'clock, I know she's asleep, midnight, the witching hour. So I say her name over and over again, and then I tell her to do something like maybe I say, wake up at 1 a.m. and eat something. And I say it over and over again for like 15 minutes. And I say her name and I have her picture over and over again. And then the next day I find out whether or not she did. Most of the time, apparently, this is a true thing. Jane will wake up at 1 a.m. and eat something. And then the next day she'll say, I woke up at 1 a.m. and ate something. And then we find out I had the transference. I transferred an impression upon her. Well, they can do that in a negative way, is all I'm saying. I'm sharing this for awareness. So you can be psychically attacked when you're sleeping. I'm so sorry to tell you this. Now, I've already probably been psychically attacked and didn't know that's what the technical terminology of it. And so what I learned to do was because I'm like been doing this a long time, I just, in that situation, if there's somebody evil coming to me, like just an evil entity, a demon, the devil, Lucifer, a black hat, some kind of monster, whatever it is that's trying to scare me, I just send it light. I say, hey, I'm going to wrap light around you. And that's what I do. I just do that. Now, some of these entities their energy is so dark and overpowering, it does put fear in you. So I had this happen like 2 weeks ago. I shared with you, it was like this being, this thing. It was a thing. There was a park bench and it was standing next to it and it was bent over and it was wearing a black trench coat and a black hat. But I knew this was dark evil, like the darkest thing you can imagine. I felt, and it scared me. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And that was the first night. And then the second night, it did it again, but this time it was standing up and I saw its eyes. And then I said, oh no, you're not. And what did I do? I sent it love. And I said, I'm hugging you. I'm sending you light. And it just left. And I said, don't mess with me. And then I did a whole bunch of light stuff with it. And that's it. Like I say, I pop its head off and I shoot light down its whatever it's being. Don't mess with me. Don't do a psychic attack. I'm not scared. I don't have any fear. So that's where you need to be. All right, so let's move on quickly before we do visualization. Let's move on to mental slaves. I'm just going to be a second. I'm just going to say, so are you enslaved mentally, your mind? We've kind of covered this in different ways today. So we're discussing about liberating yourself. Let's liberate ourselves. Let's break free from being a mental slave. And you can think clearly and you can go beyond mental slavery of the minds. So how are you going to do that? How are you going to not be a mental slave? So a mental slave might be that you hear something over and over again and you resign yourself to, you're like, all right, that's fine. I'll do it. They beat me down. Now, maybe they're going to beat you down because they're criticizing you. We spoke about yesterday about mind control. Maybe you're being so criticized, like you're not good enough. No one likes you. And so you're like, oh, okay. Well, I want to be liked. I'm going to conform. Now, does it resonate within you? No. But you're going to be a mental slave. And then what's going to happen? You're going down the wrong path. You're off your path to your destiny because now you're following what someone else is telling you to do. So now you're going to have to get off the path and then you're going to have to get back on. So how are you going to get back on the path, your path to your destiny and not be a mental slave? You're going to challenge thinking. You're going to say, well, I don't know if I agree with that so much. So I'm going to give myself some time and space, and I'm going to have discernment. And unless I really feel that that's good for me, I'm not going to agree with that. And you're going to pay attention to your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Are your thoughts your own? Or are you receiving information from an outside place, like a person, a place, or a thing that is confusing you? So don't be, Tanika, hi. Sending love from Detroit. Hey. So wait, where's Thomas coming from? Thomas Grant. We know we have Canada. We have Detroit. Where's Thomas coming from? We don't know. I'm in New York. Live from New York. It's Mary Amy. So let's have discernment with our thoughts too. What thoughts do we have that are circling around? Thomas, Australia. I'm sorry. I didn't see up here. So sorry, Thomas. Okay, you're in Australia. Apologize. Australia. Great. Thank you for joining us from Australia. It's so hard when you send me a message, I'm thinking, is that coming through? Are they angry with me? Because you can't tell with Texas. So just like have patience with me, I'm doing my very best here. So we have pay attention to your thoughts, challenge your thinking, because we don't want to be mental slaves, and become aware of the effect that that thought has on you. So is that thought beneficial to you? Are there consequences? Is it helping your life? Is it taking you away from what you're focused and concentrating on accomplishing? Our 5 humongous goals. What are your 5 humongous goals? Are you going to be enslaved, mental slave, and not accomplish any of your 5 humongous goals? Because we want to get to our destiny. And how do we get to our destiny? We're going to quantum leap from this moment. We're going to be in this moment right now. Right now, be in this moment with me. Share with me this moment. I know we have others here. We're creating a circle of light that's covering the earth, that's shifting away darkness. So if you realize and recognize that your thinking is corrupted, that must be extinguished. We don't want to have corrupted thoughts. What does that mean if our thoughts are corrupted? The Power of Now, fantastic book. Yes, The Power of Now. So if we have a corrupted thought, that might be, we say, wait a second, where did that idea come from? Where did it come from? And is it helping me? Maybe it's not helping me. I should disregard it. So be aware. Because we say subliminally we're going to receive information. Maybe we're receiving it from a friend. A friend says, this is the only way to do this. And we trust that friend. But we say, I don't really know if I want to do that myself. So the source matters, but really the source is you. You have all the answers within you to create your happiness, your serenity. You know it. You know it. If you tune into your heart has the answers. So if we're slaves, mental slaves, we are going to feel forced. We're going to have depression. We might have post-traumatic stress. Now, there is slavery we know of. There's slavery going on still in the world. There's apparently 17,500 foreigners that are enslaved a year, and 400,000 Americans are enslaved. 80% are women and children. And so that comes through in human trafficking, in slavery. It still exists. So let's be aware that we can be mental slaves. We don't want that to turn into a physical slave. We don't want to become physically enslaved. We want to liberate ourselves from slavery, any kind of slavery. Free ourselves, right? We're going to let go of anything that's enslaving us. We're going to have freedom of anything that limits our thoughts and beliefs. So before we go, I'm just going to do a quick visualization. I know I didn't do the ball of light. If you want me to do that, I will do that before I go. Let's do a quick visualization, please, to create some mental imagery in our mind's eye. And maybe this will help unblock or activate your third eye. We want to activate our third eye. If we're intuitives, if we're clairvoyants, if we're beings of light, we have to have an open third eye. So we're going to do that by visualizing. Visualizations are creating mental imagery in our mind's eye, bringing us hope. We're going to do a visualization, then we're going to do a ball of light. Okay, everyone? I'm so glad you're all here today. Please tell me where you're coming from. Thank you for joining me in the chat. I know Tommy today. Where's Tommy? He's in the country. Where is he? All right. We will create vivid mental images in the mind's eye, bringing us hope, joy, and serenity and happiness. So blessings. Our intentions today is to release pain through a source of light. Let's realize connecting your mind, body, spirit to divine light will shed darkness in yourself and unblock your true passion and purpose. Your heart visualization begins now. So please find a quiet space, sit or lay down comfortably. We're going to tune in and we're going to find quiet in ourselves. And then we're going to just do a ball of light. So you're going to let go of anything blocking you before this moment. You're going to let go of old belief systems and thoughts. You're going to let them go. They're in the rearview mirror. They're behind you. Let's be in this moment. So we're going to inhale and exhale deeply 3 times together. And I'm going to do it with you on a 12 count, okay? And we're going to pay attention to our breath. Our breathing is very important. So focus on your breath when we do this, okay? Let's do this. Okay, so I hope that you relaxed yourself a little bit by breathing. So release any tension within you. If you need to tense up your hands, your legs, and then release. Tense up and release. So you're scanning for any tension from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. So let's let go of any featured thoughts, anything that's circling in your mind. You're going to let go of that. That's not serving you anymore. We're letting go of that. It's not useful because we're going to have a clear mind. If you need to speak them out, say them out loud, whatever they are. We're going to have no attachment. We're going to let go of that. And so I'd like you to connect to your heart. Like we always say, let's tune into our heart. Let's connect to our heart. So what does that mean? Do you see your heart? Do you sense your heart? Whatever it is to you, you feel your heart. And so you're going to ask your heart to let go of any pain. You're going to ask your heart to let go of any pain. And you're going to ask your heart to let go of any pain, anger, sadness, or fear. And you're going to see in your heart a ball of glowing light. And you're going to reach for that. You're going to say, I see the light in my heart. And I see the peace. I feel the peace. And I'm going to accept the light in my heart. And as you accept this light is going to grow bigger. It's going to start out at the size of a coin, and it's going to grow bigger and bigger. And this glowing light is going to make you feel safe and hopeful. And as it grows bigger and bigger, it's going to fill your bones, your body, your flesh, your organs, and every cell of your body. And now as this light begins to become larger and larger and larger, it's going to expand over your entire body, beyond your body. And you're asking this light to stay within you, and you're giving permission for it to surround you entirely in your energy field. You're going to stay in this moment because you're going to accept the light, the peace. And this peace is going to give you hope. Okay, so stay in that moment. You're going to check, are you fully relaxed and you have peace? And then we're going to count back to 1. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that was just a little example about relaxing. You know, we speak about our breath, how important our breath is, about paying attention to breathing and relaxing, because when we relax, we have more focus, more concentration, and we are better at deliberating. We're better at doing whatever it is that we want to achieve when we have more peace within ourselves. And our thinking is actually more clear. So we've now expanded our mind and we have more space in our mind right now. So before we go, let's just do a ball of light because we're past the time. We went way past the time today. So let's do the ball of light because we love doing the ball of light. We're going into our third eye. We're going to go into our third eye, everyone? Okay, so we're going to rub our hands together because we're working on our clear senses and our ability to feel and to know our different senses. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? What are you knowing? It's all about knowing, having a willingness to know. Okay, so rub your hands together. And we're going to take our hands apart. And as we take our hands apart, we should feel some vibration on our palms. Take it away from our bodies. Okay, so we should immediately feel something on the palms of our hands. Now, know that if you are on any medication, it might subtract what you feel. You might not feel the same kind of vibration because you're dulling your senses when you're on medication. Like I took some like I had a headache. I took something last night, so that's not going to affect me now. So you might want to do this. Put your hands together if you need to, or you can cup them. And so what are we doing? We're creating a ball of energy, a ball of light, and it's going to help us have focus and concentration. And we're making energy in the physical realm, right? So as we have this ball of light, we're going to see what do we feel? What impression are you receiving? Do you have any impressions about something unrelated to this? What are you feeling? Like, what are you tuning in and what are you getting? Now, for me, what I've been doing is I've been going into my third eye and seeing what's going on in my third eye. So what's in my third eye right now? Well, I immediately see this. I keep seeing this white fence. It's getting monotonous, right? But I mean, I guess that's good. There's continuity. And then I see like I'm in the country. Let's see, what do I see? It's the same scene over and over, and then the angels. So my third eye, basically in the third eye, in my third eye or around me in another realm exists this reality, is probably what it is. And I guess I'm going to that reality. So if I was to say what this reality is, I would say in this reality, I'm going to have angels because Archangel Michael's right here by my side. He's a warrior for me. And then I would say that it's in the country. So there's nature and there's some farm animals. So obviously I'm in nature. And then again, there's angels. I see that flash of pink, which I never know what that is. And then there's water. So it's very positive, I guess I should say. There's nothing negative here. At times I saw some really rough stuff. Now, what do I see up here? I do see blue sky. And I don't see any darkness because for a while I saw darkness and evil, and that's gone. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to put my hands together. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow I'll be back at 11. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Mary Amy coming to you live. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. Have a wonderful Tuesday, September 13th. Everyone be well. I want good things for you. So I'm going to spin light, and you're in the middle, and you're making a wish. Making a wish. Okay, whatever that is you want, because we're going to quantum leap to our destiny in this moment. So let's do that. Make a wish. You're right here. Okay, I'm spinning light. All right, everyone have a wonderful day. Be well. Bye.